At the edge of dawn, Umuofia stirred. Mist hugged the thatched roofs, and palm trees whispered to the rising sun. This was a land shaped by the wisdom of ancestors, where each morning began not with clocks, but with birdsong and the quiet pulse of heritage. Here, every path led to memory, and every breath echoed tradition. Among the youth of the village was Obina, quiet, watchful, different. Where others wrestled or hunted, he sat by the stream, eyes fixed on his reflection. Not out of vanity, but searching. Searching for who he was, in a world beginning to forget itself. Beneath the great Iroko tree, the council of elders gathered, guardians of law, holders of law. Their voices were low, but heavy, like the first rumble of thunder before a storm. The winds have shifted, said Okonkwo the oldest. Strangers walk our soil, and with them, silence grows in our drum. The fire cracked, the silence deepened, the stillness broke with boots on earth. Soldiers, foreign, rigid, eyes cold, marched into Umuofia beneath the morning sun. Dust rose. Mothers gathered children. The strangers bore metal and laws and promises. But they did not speak the language of trees, nor did they bow to spirits. When they demanded obedience, it was Obina who stood tall, young, unarmed, but unbent. "This land is not yours," he said. The officer smirked, unimpressed by courage born of soil. But the villagers, they remembered that moment. A drum, if silenced, can still beat in the chest. Once it called the spirits. Now it sat alone in the square, cracked, untouched, the sacred drum of Umuofia, robbed of voice, not by force, but by forgetting. And that, the ancestors feared most of all. Outside the broken shrine, the women gathered, no wailing, no song, only silence, a deeper grief. They mourned not just what was taken, but what their children would never know. The gods had been buried, but not by earth. Alone, Obina walked to the edge of the sacred grove. Tall grass kissed his knees. Stone carvings blinked through leaves, faces older than time. He entered not with pride, but with prayer. Some paths choose you, and in that moment, the gods stirred. He fell to his knees, and behind him, light rose. Not fire, not sun, but the glow of those who came before. Grandfathers, priestesses, warriors. They did not speak, yet he heard. Remember. That one word echoed in his bones like thunder over hills. That night, the sacred drumhouse burned. Flames danced as if mocking the old gods. People watched, paralyzed, powerless. The drum that once called the village together now became ash. But fire does not destroy memory. It tests it. Not all enemies wore boots. In the shadows, a villager exchanged trust for coin. A handshake in the dark. Obina watched and learned. The drum had been silenced, but now it was being sold. The elders and youth gathered under grey skies. They lowered what remained of the drum into red earth. Hands trembled, lips murmured old chants. "You carried our voice," said one. "Now rest." But as they covered it with soil, Obina whispered, "Or rise again." They took him, bound him, tried to shame him, but Obina knelt like a king in chains, because chains cannot bind the spirit, and silence is sometimes a song waiting to be born. At dusk, the villagers gathered, young and old, broken and bold. Obina stood among them, no longer just a boy, not yet a legend. "We are not what they call us," he said. "We are what we remember." Torches flickered, and for the first time in many moons, the air felt like home again. A new sun rose over Umuofia. A boy, no older than Obina once was, held a carved drum piece in his hands. The wind kissed his face. And somewhere, faint but certain, a rhythm returned. The last drumbeat of Umuofia had not ended. It had become legacy. The drumbeat of a people never truly dies. It waits, in memory, in song, in spirit. If this story moved you, let the drumbeat continue. Like, share, subscribe, and keep the rhythm alive.